There wasn't enough room in Toyland to escape the terror that rocked Baby's cradle. To Baby, life was not a giant playpen. It was a living hell. He wasn't allowed to walk, he wasn't allowed to talk, but he was capable of it. Baby is a full-grown man trapped by 3 women with no way out. The Baby, a Scotia International release.
Welcome, everybody, and as you just heard my introduction to this, we are going to be talking about Baby, 1973. For those of you who don't know or haven't seen the trailer of this film, this is one of the most obscure cult classic horror films that have ever come to be. Basically about a man who is capable of being a man, but through the means of 3 horrible women, 2 sisters and a mother, basically he is kept as a baby, an infant. But that's not the whole story. This was done by director Ted Post, writer Ab Polinsky. It starred Anna Jetta Comer, Ruth Roman, Mariana Hill. Todd Andrews, Susan Zenner, Aaron O'Reilly. Again, one of the most strangest, and of course, Baby, done by David Mooney, as Donna said here.
Manzi.
Manzi, sorry. Is it David Manzi? Yeah, David Manzi. Yeah. Sorry. But also, well, they have his name listed as Mooney here, so my bad, my audience, for giving you that wrong information. Bad on me. Bad Rob Baby.
Right, bad.
Oh, gosh.
So... this movie, I mean, you should just see the trailer, first of all, because the trailer will blow your mind away. But there's more to this movie, too, because this type of film will never be created ever again.
No. Our audience nowadays, our people are too sensitive.
Yes.
Well, not into the mainstream, I don't think.
Well, I mean, Steve, we, even like movies like, Human Centipede, that actually would probably not even be made now once they've seen it. And we always say that after the fact, but that's because people really didn't know what they were going into or how far you could go. This is a movie that goes far in its own right. Like it crosses like a line where it's like, whoa, we don't really cross that line too much. It's weird to kind of see. So, of course.
There are multiple of those lines in this movie. Multiple.
Yes, multiple.
Yes, you're right.
I mean, not only is it, you have people that are playing, mentally ill roles that aren't mentally ill, but you also have a undertone of baby fetishism, I would even say, in this movie as well. There really is. There's also sexual abuse done by one of the sisters in this film too. She actually gets in the crib with Baby naked, and then you have one of the other sisters that's abusive who cattle prods him. Basically, Baby doesn't walk. Baby doesn't talk, and that's how they keep him subdued. And basically, this is a full-grown man. But what's interesting is you have the social worker in this movie, and the social worker seems like she really does care for him at first. That she has his best interest, and she's actually called because the babysitter gets beaten by the other 3 because she, of course, hears the baby crying. Baby gets injured, starts breastfeeding this full-grown man. He's like,
yeah,
and I'll do it again for you, my audience, especially if I'm not just like that,
That's your first kind of like, ooh.
This is weird.
Yeah, that was like the what the hell moment, because she had a boyfriend, so she wasn't pregnant, didn't have a kid, so there's no way she could possibly produce breast milk.
I told you, there's a baby fetish.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. So,
Angelina Comer, that's who plays Anna. She's the social worker in the film. She gets called, and it's funny too because the question is, as you see in the trailer, she's like, "I just saw his name listed as Baby. What's his real name?" And of course, he's just a baby. And she tries to teach him to like do basic things, tries to see how far along he is as an adult because she thinks that he is absolutely capable of doing a lot more, that these women just keep him subdued. And then you have the women, of course, trying to block her pursuits here at every turn. And it gets to the point of where Anne and her mother-in-law get together, and get this, our audience, they go back and they murder the 3 women, the 2 sisters and the mother, because, get this, spoilers, our audience, She wants the baby because her husband, as she explains in the film, was in a car accident, and now he has the mental capacity of a child. So she wants baby to be her husband's playmate.
Yeah, and she doesn't go back to their house to kill them. They show up at her house to get the baby back.
The baby, yeah.
But I mean, granted, they did break and enter. I mean, granted, she did kidnap, but they broke and entered. I'd stand my ground too.
Two wrongs don't make a right, Donna.
Listen here, I'm just saying.
The overall concept of
I'm
the
just,
film.
I'm just saying here. I might have a baby fetish, okay? I might have one.
Here's what really got me: where they put the bodies.
Yes, they put them underneath the pool.
The swimming pool, and then they made the swimming pool for the husband and the mom and the son, I guess, the playmate, whatever, and the mother-in-law's just, happy away. She's got her whole family there.
Two grown men that she's probably gonna be. That's where it was going.
She probably will be.
That's where it's going. It was. It's a film that really, really brings it. It really, like I said, it crosses the line. You have the one sister who's getting in the crib with baby. She's taking off her clothes to get in there with him, and it's such, there's so many. Okay, me and Steve have always talked about this when it comes to like awkward scenes in movies, especially when it's like watching a sex scene with your parents in a film, and I felt like I was doing that the whole time I'm watching this movie.
Right.
Like it's just like, oh God, it's like I understand if there's some kind of fetish going on here, but I don't know.
Right?
It's weird.
Is there anybody that's good in this film?
There is no one that's good, and
there's no one
person,
because the guy will not be cured, and that's even the more horrible part about the film, and why it would never be made today. Because it takes a view on disabled people and kind of like really like it doesn't help mindset about abuse or marital abuse or anything like that. It just kind of like goes, oh, don't worry about that, we're just gonna have a cartoonish like remedy to that.
Right.
Yeah.
It almost seems like, in a way, and this is why I like this film, but in a way I'm like, I kind of ask, did you, when you made this film, did you take it seriously, or did you kind of sit there and go, this come on, it's about a grown man and his baby? I mean, that's kind of the question I would have, because it's like, if you did take this film seriously, you did an awful, 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 awful film. That's very, very, very insensitive. And even I'm saying that, and it's,
but is that the goal, was to be that insensitive?
Right.
The
goal to be a cartoonish take on a horror, like, look at this, it's about a guy, that's what I'm saying. Is it meant to be like full blown serious, or meant to be like kind of a comedy horror? What do you guys think?
I think it was more like a comedy horror. And I don't even think of it being a horror movie. Like, I love scary movies, and the only thing scary was the fucking cattle prod. I'm like, okay, that would hurt, but
that didn't scare you down, the possibility of being stuck as a baby like that? Donna doesn't walk. Donna doesn't talk.
Right. And then like you being kidnapped, and then just, basically being a playmate for somebody else in the end. It's just,
dude, someone would kidnap me right now. I wouldn't have to pay bills, have to worry about cooking. Man, take me. That was a joke. But that's funny. What I mean.
You're just like goo goo gaga.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, goo goo gaga. But that's what I'm saying. This movie plays into a lot of insensitivity. It's kind of like when I was on, and I'm not trying to name drop here in my eyes, but the Jacked Up movie review, when we were talking about Deadly Nights, because that film, realistically, you go, yeah, that film is about an evil Santa Claus, about a guy who dresses up like Santa Claus and a serial killer. What it's actually about is about a kid who sees Santa Claus murder his parents, and then he's at work and he has PTSD, and then his boss says, put on this goddamn Santa Claus outfit before you get fired, and then he has a fucking meltdown. In today's world, that is one of the most insensitive things towards people that have PTSD. I mean, that film is definitely, and it's kind of on the same level as this. You think, this film is just about a grown man as a baby, but no, it's touching on some like dark things.
Yeah.
Do you think this was kind of, because this came out in like this 1973? So
they were
70s was super experimental for films. Like they were doing everything, and I feel like this is one of them. and the thing is, you never see another one like this.
No.
You don't.
Again.
No,
So
and see,
it
the
was
only
just
thing I
weird.
can really I can't equate this movie to really anything else. I mean, there are some crazy films. I mean, one of the other movies I can kind of think that kind of made me go, "Oh, this is creepy," was like, but not on like a horror level. Was like, House of a Thousand Corpses, when you go down there and they're operating on all the guys and they're eating the cereal and stuff like that. That was like, oh shit, kind of moment. But that was like a horror moment. This is like horror in the sense of like, ooh, I don't know if I should be watching this, you know.
Yeah,
This is horror of like, ooh, society frowns on this stuff now.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only one that I'm thinking of, and it really doesn't pertain to this, is the other horror. Do you guys see the People Under the Stairs movie?
Oh yeah, I love that
I
film.
haven't.
Yeah,
Love that
it's
film.
like, but it's
Ving
not though,
Rhames,
because
bro.
they weren't. Yeah, they were not disabled, so it.
No, they were starved people that were like, put under the stairs, and they're like basically like zombies now.
Kind
Kind of
of.
like the zombie, like that scene in House of a Thousand Corpses where he gets thrown into the cage, and like all those people like jump on her, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck was that? And they never touch base on that at all.
Right.
No, they were hungry.
Yeah, they were hungry. They just wanted to bite on her. You know?
No.
No. That's what I'm saying.
It's just a sad film. It didn't even scare me. It just made me go like,
No,
that
it made
sucks.
me laugh. It's one of those films, like I said, when I watched it, it was like watching a sex scene with my parents. But when I watched it the second time, the whole time I'm sitting there just going, God, this guy. I mean, I want to know, did he sit there and like, and I'm not making fun of him, but I just want to sit there. Was he like watching a baby? He like sat there. He's like, I need you to teach me your ways. I need you to teach me
Right.
how to be a baby.
Character
someone,
actor.
Someone bring me a kid.
I didn't think his performance was bad.
Well, he didn't speak the whole time, so he got props on that.
But he did. He said, "Mama," and like
Falling
that
on
was
the
probably
ground and stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, he didn't like have full on conversations. Like, there were small bits and pieces, and you can tell the cry over for the baby was a cry over,
yeah.
a voiceover. But out of all the acting, and I hate to say it, like, some of the acting really did suck. The sisters, I couldn't stand. Their acting was fucking horrible.
She's
The
like,
mom.
We could take him to the circus.
Yeah.
They want him in that freak show. Are you saying you want to do that to your brother? I'm saying it'd be better.
Yeah.
The mom.
The mom, she nailed that fucking role.
Yeah, the mom was the best actress in the movie. I thought
Yeah.
she was good.
Yeah.
Especially when she walks up to him and she's all like, "You little bastard."
Yeah, so like during the movie, I looked her up, and have you guys seen some of her work from like when she was younger? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this woman was drop dead gorgeous for the time.
Mm.
Yeah, she was on Strangers on a Train, I believe, and yeah, she was
Yeah.
very, very pretty lady.
Yeah, she was a
So
very
to
prominent
have-
actress for a while.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's weird to have her just be this like, kind of
It
weird,
happens, though. I
beaten
mean-
up looking woman, type of just like gaunt looking face. Yeah, it was like a Mommy Dearest vibes too. It was just weird.
That and it also, she kind of gave me the vibes off of Grease. What was her name? Not Sandy, not Frenchie. Help me out here, guys. The one that was always the troublemaker. Rizzo.
Oh, Rizzo. Yeah, Rizzo.
She gave me Rizzo vibes. Like, literally, like if you look at her face and like her Rizzo back in that time, like it almost, they could have been daughter and mother and daughter at that time.
Yeah, I can kind of
Like-
see that.
Yeah.
But overall, so we all kind of agree this film would never be made today.
No.
But it was made. So getting over that prospect.
It's kind of
Getting over that
right?
prospect, the acting was, semi. We'll say good. I'd give it what?
Whatever. It's like
5.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5.
The story. I mean, we got to put it up there, guys. I mean, I give it at least on the horror genre. I'd put it up there really high. I guess mind thrillers. I guess you could say I'd put it up there pretty high because it's a film. If you want to see a messed up film, this is a messed up film. So I would
Yeah.
put it up there and maybe like I'd give it a 6.5 when it comes to like story plot. As a movie itself,
hmm
4.
Really?
Really, because I don't think it's a film that needs to be seen. It's insanely insensitive. It's insanely. It's not a story like we're in this type of work, so it's kind of, of course we're gonna see a film like this. Of course, we watch we watch all these kind of films because we want to see all this all the perspectives that they had in all these different eras in the 70s was like the goddamn Wild West with some of these topics.
And like
So-
Donna
Yeah,
said,
they
like
just
there are
didn't care.
some lines that were just terrible.
Yeah.
Really
So-
bad.
Yeah.
So, overall, the film, I would give it a 4. I just think it's an okay film. I just think it's, as a controversial film, yeah, I can see why people like it. Especially you baby fetish people.
Well, see, she didn't keep him as a baby baby fetish. They kept him as a baby.
No, I'm saying the film, like, panders to baby fetish.
It does, but it comes out. It says that the reason why she was abusing him is because all of her
Husbands.
husbands left, and it makes me wonder: do they really leave or just see her psychotic side?
It
and then
makes
she
me
killed
makes you
him.
think how you're like,
I mean,
maybe
incest.
I should go this route.
Does psychotic just push you to being like, the torture and the incest and all this other stuff happening? Like, there's something else to that. I don't think it's just your
Yeah.
husband's leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I
no, there
feel
was
too.
some. Well, true. There was probably some deep, dark,
baby fetishes.
baby fetish, or she made it to where there was a man in her life that could never leave her.
Yeah, kept him as a baby the whole
Yeah.
time. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, but what would you guys give the film? You heard my take. I give it as a film itself. I give it like a 4. Horror wise, whatever. Mind thriller 6.5. What would you guys give it overall?
Probably
Movie
the same.
overall, about a 5, and the horror 7, because it gets to you. Like if you sit and think about it, the psychological toll it would take, it could get to you.
That is so true. Yeah, because it's not a movie you want to like reflect on. And I didn't even watch the credits. As soon as it was over, I was like, okay, and we're done with that. Like, I didn't want to see, like, kind of forget that never happened.
I want you guys to start texting me when you curse my names while watching these films, because I want you guys to be like, "What did you have me watch?" Because the reason Luke's not
did
on
with
this,
Hannibal
is he was
Holocaust.
like, "I don't want to watch this." I get it. It's not for everyone, okay? He's not dedicated like us, our audience. Just kidding. Luke. By the way, late happy birthday for Luke out there, our audience. But this film itself, yeah, I think it's a film that's definitely has. And I can see why it has a cult following, a very probably small cult following. I came across this film when I was doing our 70s compilation into obscure movies, and I was like, "What the is this? There's a movie about a man, baby? What?" Because
Right.
of course I love It's Alive. That's one of my favorite films.
That's
So-
another great one, too. That's
And so
another
this-
great babyish, in another way, film.
So I say they should make It's Alive, Rosemary's Baby. They should remake all that with a big man baby like they did in this movie.
Rosemary's Baby mixed
Rosemary's
with
Man
Baby.
Baby.
Right.
Yep, Rosemary's
Oh.
Man Baby.
I went Rosemary's Baby versus the Baby. Where's that one at?
Oh my
Oh.
God. Just get murdered. Oh God. But yeah, that's gonna be Baby, our audience, 1973. So that's gonna be this. Let's talk about it. And of course, we were talking about Baby, 1973. So we will say goodbye, everyone. Make sure you listen, like, and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications, and make sure you support the show on Jagged Tooth Clothing at eBay. And have a good night, everybody.